Dan is in deep trouble. He's tapping.
All over.
Wow.
Anderson Silva.
The UFC has been no stranger to controversies and conspiracy theories over the years, and it seems like things have ticked up a notch in the last few years. Some of this is surrounding the alleged fixing of fights, and some is speculating about the reasons for the seemingly erratic behavior of the sport's biggest star, Conor McGregor. If you're a fan of mixed martial arts, this is definitely a video you're going to want to stick around for. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Okay, that being taken care of, let's begin our deep dive into UFC conspiracy theories and what people think is happening with Conor McGregor. Let's begin with a look into a few of the famous fights that many fans suspect were rigged in some way. It's important to note that these theories are not unique to the UFC, and its sister sport of boxing has an even longer and more sordid history with its match-fixing accusations. Also, it's important to note that these conspiracies are as much about rigging who gets into a title match as they're about whether or not one of the fighters was paid to go down. Regardless, the amount of money up for grabs in these major combat sports events means that there will always be room and reason to suspect that something might be fixed in favor of some rich and powerful fans, gamblers who aren't looking to actually gamble, or in favor of who is popular rather than who's best. However, we dare you to call any of these fighters out. Mostly all of these conspiracies just serve to put chips on the shoulders of fighters who want nothing more than to be recognized as the best in the sport, and become venomous at the suggestion that they weren't deserving of their hard-fought victories and titles. Our first commonly touted conspiracy theory about fixed matches surrounds none other than Brock Lesnar. The massive former WWE wrestler is an intimidating presence whose muscles have muscles. In addition to his impressive physique, he brought in a lot more viewers from his WWE fanbase who wanted to see how he fared in real fights. Many believe this popularity is the real reason why he quickly got a shot at the heavyweight title, despite going a pedestrian 1-1 in his first 2 MMA bouts. Many UFC fans believe that there were more deserving contenders for the belt, and accusations of a money grab and conspiracy rang around the internet. The cries grew louder when Lesnar shocked the world by knocking out the champ Randy Couture in the second round. While it appears that the aging Couture legitimately struggled against the strength of the hulking 270-pound Lesnar, many fans remain unconvinced to this day. At the very least, they claim that Couture should have been dispatched by a stronger contender, one that Lesnar would not have beaten if given a later title shot. Lesnar was later disqualified from fighting in the UFC after testing positive for steroids, inspiring even more conspiracy theories over who knew how much and when, or at least whether people knowingly looked the other way regarding the behemoth's performance-enhancing drug use. Fans have also raised eyebrows at the unexpected knockout of middleweight champion Anderson Silva in UFC 162. The relatively unknown American Chris Weidman shocked the MMA world when he dispatched the champ the second round, but it's the way that it happened that has left people talking. Silva, in an apparent attempt to bait Weidman into a mistake, let down his guard, closed his eyes, and stuck his head forward. Weidman surprised Silva by actually landing a left hook on his exposed chin and finished the KO when he followed him to the ground, delivering a devastating right-handed blow that bounced Silva's head off the mat. Silva has repeatedly claimed that it was a mistake, not a fix, and that he got caught clowning. He made the following statement to address the rumors when they still didn't go away. "I'm Brazilian, and people respect my story outside of my country. Japan, England, USA, and we are very respected. We do our job very well. On the side of fixing the fight and me selling it, I'm a little annoyed because when I enter the octagon, I represent my country and I represent all the Brazilians here and outside who cheer me. It got me very upset. People thinking I sold the fight. I always said that it's a Brazilian belt. If it's with me or another Brazilian, I always said I don't want to fight with another Brazilian. If another Brazilian won, I would cheer them on. I wanted the belt to stay here. I'm not a politician. I'm an athlete, and I represent my country, and I'll never fail them. Never." Silva returned to the octagon for UFC 168 in December of 2013 for a title rematch against Weidman, this time trying to win it back. The match once again ended brutally and infamously for Silva. Early in the second round, Weidman checked a roundhouse kick to his leg, and Silva's leg broke grotesquely at the midpoint of his shin. In the replay, his lower leg and foot can be seen bending unnaturally around the shin of Weidman. Yikes. Silva may have proven to many of his fans that there was no conspiracy in the first match, but he may have also unintentionally proven that there really is such a thing as a curse, and Weidman continues to be his bad luck charm. Speaking of broken tibias, it's time to talk about Conor McGregor. In his recent rubber match with Dustin Poirier that was meant to break their 1-1 tie from previous fights, McGregor suffered almost the exact same injury as Silva. It's not as clear when the injury occurred, but it became horrifyingly apparent that he was not okay when he stepped backwards and his shin completely gave out, with the middle of his leg hitting the mat at 90-degree angle. This part has been more intrigue than conspiracy, as fans and analysts have been reviewing the tape to see when it happened and to understand how long McGregor may have been fighting on one leg. The real conspiracy, as it always is with McGregor, is surrounding how much his antics are real and how much of it is an act designed to generate publicity and popularity leading up to his matches. For example, things remained relatively civil between the two fighters before and after their second fight, when Poirier was victorious, but McGregor was as vicious as ever leading up to their third and most recent bout, making it personal by tweeting a screenshot of Poirier's wife, Jolie, sending Conor a DM request over Instagram. Even while sitting on the floor of the octagon with his legs splinted from knee to ankle, McGregor wasn't ready to let the taunting go. "Your wife is in me DMs, eh baby?" he called to the nearby Poirier during his post-match interview with Joe Rogan. He reportedly made more vicious comments later that the microphones didn't pick up, threatening to kill Poirier and his wife in their sleep. This isn't the first time McGregor's displayed this kind of behavior, delivering low blows outside of the octagon while he's forbidden from doing so on the inside. The most notable incident was when McGregor and his posse stormed into Barclays Center in New York City at the end of media day for UFC 223, which McGregor was not even fighting in. The story goes that the title holder at the time, Khabib Nurmagomedov, had an altercation at the fighter's hotel with Conor's friend, training partner, and fellow UFC fighter Artem Lobov. McGregor was on a plane and turned around when he found out to confront Khabib. He found him in his bus leaving Barclays to return to the hotel, and McGregor was captured on video sprinting towards the bus with a dolly and throwing it at a side window. The attack broke the window, injuring several of Khabib's team. McGregor was disciplined by the UFC and charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct after a plea deal. So that's it, right? End of story? A bunch of hotheads hurl insults and dollies at each other before letting things cool down? No. In addition to being disciplined by UFC President Dana White, McGregor received a title shot against Khabib. Talk about mixed messages. Fans immediately began questioning whether the entire episode was orchestrated to some degree in order to hype the future fight. Many others reject this, and conspiracies also point to McGregor's increasingly erratic behavior, suggesting that the incident was brought on by a worsening drug habit. Still, others believe that McGregor needs no help from illicit substances to fuel an already outrageous personality that is equal parts generous and vicious. So which is it? Conor McGregor, the unhinged and unpredictable maniac, or Conor McGregor, the cunning strategist and self-promoter? Like most things, we suspect that the truth contains seeds of both. And with that, we conclude our look at UFC conspiracy theories and what people think is happening with Conor McGregor. We know that there are many more conspiracy theories out there, but we didn't have time for today, so let us know your favorites in the comments below. If you like the content, be sure to join us for our next video.